The public trust ledger has reached a tipping point. Today, Friday, March 13, 2026, a new Rasmussen survey has confirmed a massive shift in American opinion. 56% of likely U.S. voters now believe that side effects from COVID-19 vaccines have likely caused a significant number of unexplained deaths. What was once dismissed by officials as a conspiracy theory has officially become the majority view in the United States. With 32% stating it is very likely, we are auditing a total collapse in the credibility of the CDC and Health and Human Services. As a CPA, I track segmented data. This skepticism isn't limited to one group. It crosses all partisan and racial lines. While 70% of Republicans suspect deadly effects, so do 46% of Democrats and 54% of independents. Even more striking is the racial audit. Black voters at 64% and Hispanic voters at 57% are actually more likely than white voters at 54% to suspect vaccine-related deaths. This suggests a universal risk assessment being made by the public that deviates sharply from the safe and effective narrative maintained by health authorities for years. I'm Camilo Motado reporting for Thu News. As a certified public accountant, I look at materiality and reporting discrepancies. In an audit, if a company reports 0 product failures while 56% of its customers report witnessing fatalities, we flag that as a catastrophic reporting failure. Today, we are auditing the public health ledger. We are looking at a system where 42% of voters believe CDC employees should be fired for misleading the public. This isn't just a difference of opinion, it's a demand for operational accountability. The support for HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. reflects this demand for a forensic review of the pandemic. 50% of voters believe government health officials deserve criticism. And among those who strongly believe the shots caused deaths, over 70% want CDC firings. From an auditing perspective, the CDC is a failing entity in terms of its primary mission, public trust. RFK Jr. is currently viewed favorably by 45% of voters, acting as the external auditor that many believe is necessary to clean up the misleading data that characterized the 2021 to 2024 period. This is a management restructuring play being driven by the shareholders, the American voters. In professional auditing, we look at unexplained variances. When the public observes a spike in unexplained deaths that does not match the official government's safe and effective ledger, they perform their own independent audit. According to the Rasmussen survey, nearly 1/3 of likely voters say it is very likely the vaccines caused mass deaths. This is a credibility gap that cannot be closed with more PR campaigns. For a CPA, if a company's financial statements are rejected by 56% of its shareholders, that company is essentially in technical default of its reporting obligations. The majority of Americans have decided that the product, the vaccine, carried hidden operational risks that were never properly disclosed in the user agreement. Perhaps the most aggressive finding in this audit is the demand for personnel liquidations. 42% of voters, and over 70% of those who suspect vaccine deaths, believe CDC employees should be fired. As an auditor, I view this as a total management restructuring mandate. When the board of directors, Congress and health leaders, loses the confidence of the equity holders, the taxpayers, the next step is usually a forced takeover. This is where Robert F. Kennedy Jr. comes in. His 45% favorability rating positions him as the liquidator-in-chief tasked with cleaning up the CDC ledger and holding individuals accountable for what the public perceives as a mass misleading. In accounting, goodwill is the value of a brand's reputation. Today, the CDC's goodwill asset is in total impairment. The survey shows that even 46% of Democrats, the group most traditionally supportive of health authorities, now suspect deadly vaccine effects. This is a contagion of skepticism that has crossed the partisan firewall. When your product becomes a symbol of suspicion even to your most loyal customer base, the brand is fundamentally broken. The public health entity will likely have to be rebranded or completely rebuilt to regain any level of sovereign authority. The final audit of March 13, 2026, shows the United States in a state of information revolt. 56% of the country has officially unsubscribed from the government's pandemic narrative. The public trust ledger is deep in the red, and the demand for accountability is no longer a fringe movement. It is a mainstream audit requirement. As a CPA, my verdict is that we are entering a phase of post-pandemic forensic accounting. The arrival of RFK Jr. at HHS represents the external audit the public is demanding. Whether the firings and investigations actually happen is yet to be seen, but the reputational default of the CDC is now an immutable fact. But I want to hear from you. Do you believe the 56% are right to suspect the vaccine? Or is this survey a reflection of a mass misinformation event? Does the CDC deserve a total liquidation of its staff, or is a restructuring enough? Let me know in the comments. Your perspective is the only audit that matters when the official numbers no longer add up. I'm Camilo Motado, certified public accountant for Thu News. Subscribe to stay ahead of the data and stay safe.